Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Still at home, drinking coffee, crisp air, don't care. This is actually special coffee. No, not in that kind of way. It's a combination of mushroom coffee, mushroom cacao, and regular coffee. Yes, I know. I have a tiny bit of a stimulant problem, but that's one of my goals, I guess, in this new year coming up. Just kind of cut down on all that stuff. So, anyways, a couple tidbits real quick before we get into what we're going to talk about today, because there's a couple of interesting things that went down. I'm going to give you my take on them. One is kind of, most are related to the Great Awakening. One is kind of a little bit more of a health and fitness thing, because I'm into that too. I know some of you guys are also on that path of health and fitness. So, this morning, I go to the gym at 3:45 a.m. and I usually get done at about 5:30, 5:45. Normally, today's about 5:45. So I work out in a gym in Highlands. It's an area of Denver. So I'm on my way home, and because of this, now I'm getting a dash cam because I'm tired of being driving and this weird stuff goes down, and by the time I get a phone out, it's gone. So the best way I can describe what I saw is the sky lit up. Now, not like you would see, because we just had a snowstorm. We got about a foot of snow out where we're at. Not like lightning. This was different. This was something I've never seen before. I have theories as to what it could be. We'll talk about it for a little bit. So I'm driving home from the gym, and so I live off 26th Ave in Wadsworth, kind of in the Lakewood area, and there's Crown Hill Cemetery there. So I'm going west on 26, and you get a really good view of the sky, and I see what it looks like. It's like from horizon to horizon, this band, like lit up. Now, what I mean it lit up is it like lit up in like luminosity, and it held luminosity for a brief period of time, mind you. It wasn't like it was lit up for like a good 5-10 minutes. It was lit up for probably about a good 10-20 seconds, and then it dissipated. And then it happened one more time. And when it lit and held luminosity, it was a little bit shorter duration than the first time. It was like 5, maybe 10 seconds, and then it dissipated. And the reason I noticed this is because it's night. I mean, it's still dark out. There were clouds, and that's what it did. It looked like a band of light on like the top layer of the clouds, like just horizon to horizon, illuminating, holding it, dissipating. Then it came back a little bit again, and then stopped. So what I theorize this might be, I have a few of them. So as you know, we're going to be having Ben Davidson on, and he talks a lot about the catastrophe cycle here on this planet, certain things that occur. I do believe this could possibly now, some kind of electrical discharge, because have a weakening magnetic field right now. And we have been getting coronal hole streams, solar flares, solar storms for the good part of this week. So to me, what I would first think because of that is like, maybe this is some electrical discharge from the global electrical circuit. Because most of you know, our Earth has its own electrical current. It's the Schumann resonance, but it is a current, electrical current in and of itself. It can be harnessed and utilized. Not going to say much about it, but let's say I'm trying to crack that. And that's my number one theory as to what it could have been. My number two theory is some sort of weather manipulation. I've often always found a kind of pattern, I guess you could say, with some of the snowstorms we get out here. I've noticed how, and this is what I mean paying attention to the subtle, guys, because the subtle is how plausible deniability is maintained. I've noticed that a lot of times we get the big snowstorms on the weekends. But like during the week, it's always clear and sunny. And I don't know, there might not be anything, but I've noticed this trend for the past few years here in Colorado. I do think, and they've even come out and admitted they try to manipulate the weather, so it very well could have been some kind of weather manipulation phenomenon, HARP, some kind of frequency technology or something. And my third, which could be the most unlikely, but very well the most like it could be very likely too is some kind of ship or something that just entered or came into this dimension or something. I don't know. It was super freaking massive if that was the case, but I I never discount any kind of paranormal phenomena that could be occurring too, because as we know, guys, that there's more to this existence in this world than we know. So, a couple other things real quick. Now that I have the timing of everything down with this new software and the sound issue's not as bad anymore, and we'll be getting a new video camera here soon as well. We're going to be doing scheduled shows like this. So, stay tuned for a show Monday, Wednesday, and of course we have our me and Joe on Syrup Tap on Saturdays doing our Saturday show. I'm going to see if I can fit in one on Friday as well. I'm just really trying to keep the balance of work and life good right now, especially here at home balance as well. So I will still be doing shorts throughout the day because I do have editing software and a halfway decent phone. We could at least make that work. So I'll still be doing shorts and little tidbits and commentary. But as far as like the lengthier shows, like the 30 minutes and beyond, we're going to be doing those a few times a week now, and we're going to have a set schedule. So without further ado, let's get into what we're going to kind of take a look at today. So I'm going to just bust into the health and fitness one real fast, just so we can kind of get by it. But we're kind of looking at Daily Mail right now. So let me pull up Daily Mail. So this one, all right, I do not mean to hop into the Liver King fanatic thing going on right now. But I found this, to be expected, I guess you could say, is he is now being sued by his fans who were tricked into buying his muscle-building supplements when in fact he was taking steroids. If some of you guys listened to my other, my thoughts on Liver King short on the YouTube channel, I'll try to get it up on Rumble. I've been lifting weights, doing health and fitness now for the past 15 years. So I would consider myself a master tradesman in the iron craft at this point. We all knew this. All of us who have had time and experience in the gym and have worked on our bodies and have, really put forth time and effort into gaining strength, gaining size, leading out, things like that. You need to be honest about this kind of stuff, man. You have to, all right? Because it's you're messing with people. You're making people think that it is achievable and obtainable to walk around at 6% body fat year round. So it's not. You need something to do that. Anybody who's cut for a bodybuilding show or anything like that, you know that when you get down that low, you cannot maintain that. You can't. So it's kind of, it sucks because the public and the people who aren't really savvy on health and fitness and who haven't worked on their bodies, they bought this. They bought this a lot, and it's definitely, 25 fucking million, dude. That shit. So that's a lot of money. That's pretty much all he's probably made in his existence of being here on the internet and doing his thing. So, and then dangerous, life-threatening diet. Now, the one thing I'll say about the diet is, a lot of people who are experiencing an awakening right now, health and fitness is a part of that. And, the best thing I can tell you guys is, yes, try to eat as many organic whole foods as you can, but you have to eat sustainably. And eating raw meats and keto is not a sustainable thing to hold for long periods of time. I know there will be people who debate me on that. I've tried a keto diet. It does not work. It destroys my performance in the gym. That's why I train. It does make me, I mean, it makes you look flat. I mean, you want to look full, you want to look healthy, things like that. So, I mean, honestly, I hate to say this, justice served, Liver King, because you lied. You lied to people when you were actually doing something behind the scenes. I mean, I've ran a cycle before, but I'm honest about that. I mean, I will say I'm natural now, but I'm not a lifetime natty. So, all right, a little bit out of that real quick. There was one thing on here too I wanted to bring up as well. In the meantime, while the slow ass computer does its thing, I want to talk about the whole Andrew Tate Greta Thunberg exchange. And if you listen to Joe and I Saturday show, we talk about actors, right? We talk about actors in the haunted house and things like that. So I am now, without a shadow of a doubt, convinced that Andrew Tate is an actor, albeit he's a good one. All right, I definitely does a great job. But the whole heated exchange came into be because, Greta Thunberg wanted to question the size of his manhood because of his car collection and all that, Mind you, I'm not a materialistic guy. If I had money, I would not drop it on Bugattis. But, it's his money. I'm not one to tell anybody to do with their money. So, but she was saying about all the emissions and all the, it's how it's harmful for the environment. And she decided to, I guess, put his question the size of his manhood and put that on display. But she kind of burned herself because I guess she has the email small dick energy from what I was seeing in the video. So this is kind of, one thing I think we're even going to touch base with Ben Davidson when we have him on is the whole climate change thing going on right now. And it's a propaganda piece. It really is. I mean, the climate is changing, but it does so cyclically. It does so through different solar events, different solar ages, things like that. And honestly, there's a lot of evidence. And Ben, we're going to talk about it when we have Ben on, how when you lose ice at the ice caps at the poles, you get a global cooling effect because you're releasing cold into the jet stream. And that is going to cause cooling, not warming. So you notice how it was global warming, and then it got changed to climate change because they're like, oh shit. I mean, it's really only been like a degree or two difference. I mean, even the top climate advisor at the White House got barred from scientific institutions, if I remember correctly, because she lacked credibility. There was. Really what the whole climate change agenda is they want you to own nothing and be happy. That's the thing. They want you to own nothing and be happy. They don't want you to have any personal property. They want you to rent and do whatever and be a debt slave and a wage fucking slave for the rest of your life. That's what they want. They want you to continue to bow down to the false god that is this currency. Indeed, it is a false god. I agree with Joe on that statement. Money is only worth what we believe it's worth. And that's bottom line, because our currency has no worth but belief. So, let's check back on Mr. Microsoft Edge here. See what's going on. All right, cool. We got that back up. All right. So, the January 6th community is the one I want to touch on next. Because we're going to get kind of into a little bit of a thing on that as well. Because the FBI, the head of the FBI, has been getting grilled in Congress, from what I believe, about his people being in the building at the time when the whole January 6th shebang happened. And I gotta admit, giving it to you guys at the Invisible College, you did a good job on that one. You had a lot of people really fucking fooled. So, his people were inside, aka people of the FBI. And we now see that there was a lot of very interesting things that happened about that day. It was most certainly a staged event. Most certainly. Because if you look at how people were just allowed in, number one. Number two, there were verified members of Antifa posing as Trump fans and patriots and things like that who were in on it as well. Okay, and I mean, really, in all honesty, I think if you really even want to take it back a little bit from that, it's kind of odd how when one side, when it has to do with the narrative of the one side, the left, and you're allowed to riot, loot, burn, fucking pillage, destroy, all of the above if you're on that side. But if you're not allowed. You're not allowed to do anything. You can't. It's like a bunch of little 5-year-olds going, me and my friends can do it, but you can't. So it's like, it's amazing, and that's why I do believe we are in a simulation. I do believe we are in a matrix, because I can't look at my fellow human being and be like, there's no way you lack this much common sense. There's no way. There has to be some other explanation. And that is why that even reinforced my belief in the simulation theory, because you have people who who are just, there's no way a human being can lack that kind of common sense. All right, even some of the regular ones I run into every day, they still got a lot of common sense. They do for the most part. They might be swayed very easily, but they have common sense. And so I just find the whole thing and the whole January 6th community itself is just a fucking movie. That's all. It's like a fucking pseudo documentary. It's like we want you to think this is serious, so you're not really paying attention to everything else that's going around. And then they want to go ahead and say, like, without no content moderation is a threat to our democracy, and this, and this, and it's like, bro, it's like, this is what I mean. We're getting trolled into awakening, because anybody with a lick of common sense can look at this and just be like, what the fuck is really going on right now? Like, seriously, like, this is not what's truly important. You know what I mean? It's like, especially people saying that no content moderation is a threat to democracy. They don't know what democracy means then. You know what I'm saying? And like I've said before and again, all right, I'm going to even entertain this world stage view for a second. If you rip the tongue out of a man's mouth, like I said, you're not proving him to be a liar. You're only proving that you fear what he has to tell the world. And there was one side being silenced constantly and constantly. Now, mind you, we haven't really got into what I believe politically. I'm a little bit of an anarchist, and I was anarcho-cappy. I kind of changed that a little bit. I do believe we need a massive decentralization. I've talked about it multiple times. It is happening, but we really need a decentralization of power. We do. We need social reform and a decentralization of power, because it's statistically proven every time power becomes centralized, you get corruption. That's what happens. Human beings are human beings. That's the thing. People think just because somebody's elected into a position of power that automatically absolve all of their problems, their issues, human nature, vice versa. And that's why you hear me say that if the conspiracy involves large sums of money, government misinformation, and government cover-up, you can bet your ass it's fucking true. And you just need to know a little bit of human psychology and human nature. And you know how people act. The average person, okay? You know how the average person acts. You interact with them on a daily basis, each and every one you do. So, I find the January 6th community thing completely hilarious. I'm actually going to go ahead and give my thoughts on Trump as well. Trump was an actor, and he did his part. Okay, I know a lot of you guys really, support Trump, and you agree, and you really, you think that he's the guy. All right, mind you, he's done some good things. All right, he has. I mean, like I said, Kennedy Papers, the 9/11, he uncensored the 9/11, the pages from the 9/11 report that showed that Saudi Arabia trained and funded all of the terrorists and housed all of the terrorists but two. And I love how that flew over everybody's heads in 2016. It just flew over everybody's heads, and we still got people saying never forget. And yes, never forget. It's unfortunate that those lives were lost, but our government allowed it to fucking happen, and they played a fucking part in it. So that's kind of why I really don't, when 9/11 comes around, I really don't say anything. I mean, I work in the trades. I build high rises. That whole day does not make a fucking lick of sense. Does not. So, but Trump was an actor. He was an actor. He did a great job. He definitely stirred up in a way. He stirred up the awakening, because the awakening, like I said, it's been going on for a little bit now, but I really started to see it take effect like in the early 2010s, 2010s. And now he kind of stirred it up, being an individual who, when you look at his simulation rap sheet, he's a self-made millionaire, things like that. So this is the one thing I just want to, I would implore to talk with everybody about is I don't agree with the two-party system at all. I think it is an illusion. We've talked about this. Our real dictators are the administrative sector, the invisible college, the CIA, the intelligence agencies, things like that. Those are the real dictators here. And that's why, people, it's an illusion of choice, guys. It is. And I know I'm probably one of the, I'm not the first person you might have heard this from. I know a lot of people on here are diehard conservative, and I agree. You guys, I'm on your side right now. We're cohorts, man, because I agree with a lot of the message that you're putting across. I do think we need to bring back a touch of conservatism when it comes to certain things. However, you cannot rely on this on a Republican Party to do so. Do it yourself. Okay, take that into your own hands. Take it into your own account, in your own homes, in your own life practices, things like that. You're not relying on this system. Okay, relying on this system is the biggest freaking mistake you can make in this world. Okay, and that's my opinion, honestly, because nothing is forever, man. Nothing is. I mean, change is the only constant. Change is the only constant in this universe, and this system is going to change. And I'm really looking at this right now that it will be changing for the better. That's what we need, So, other than that, touching base on some other things here. So, let's head on over. Let's see if I can find this. So the whole FTX thing. UFO abduction rays. You gotta love natural phenomena sometimes, man. And that's the one thing too, dude. Like, I'm not one of those people who always jump to the paranormal or things like that. I do believe there is natural phenomena on this planet that we just have not discovered yet. Ball lightning being a big case on that too, and under rare climate conditions, probably things we've never seen can occur. So, what's this? This is what I'm talking about right here. We live in a goddamn simulation. There is no fucking way bodies are piling up because they lifted the draconian zero COVID policy. No way, dude. Spiraling infections have led to shortages of cold medicine, long lines of fever clinics. The only thing I think that could be happening with this, besides from it being a show, being part of the show, this is what I mean, dude. Quite frankly, it's like, but the only thing I can give them is, I was sick 3 weeks ago, and even I'll entertain the fact, I'll even entertain the mainstream narrative on this one just for 1 second, and even say, like, the lockdowns didn't do good because it weakened people's immune systems. So this could actually, honestly, not be COVID. They could be saying it's COVID right now. Could not be COVID. And this weird mutant bug that's been going around, because they decided to lock everybody down and stop herd immunity and things like that, they basically weakened everybody's immune system. So now even something as like a simple common cold is going to kick someone's ass. So, push the foot to the virus back to square one. New worrying should keep some. Here they go. They're going to try it again. And at least not here. They know better to try it here, but they're going to try it again. They are most certainly going to try it again. So let me take a look here. Thank you. U.S. Virgin Islands. Let's see. Jacob Morgan. Ooh. Let's check this one out, guys. A little bit more on the Epstein thing. So I don't know if you guys knew. There was a supposed Maxwell list floating around the internet. Back a couple of months ago, I think, or a few months ago when the trial ended, there was a Maxwell list floating around on the internet. Now, I could never find a credible source for it. It was more of like just a image that was floating around with people's names on it. But, you know, a lot of the names were names people love, or beloved people who were in movies from our childhood and things like that. So, as you expect, and you know, it really gets on my nerves a little bit when people think the whole pedophilia thing and the child thing is a conspiracy. I definitely believe it's part of the show right now, but I'm telling you, it's not a conspiracy. I lived in the Washington, D.C. area for 25 years of my life. Okay? Take it from somebody who is from there. Okay? Good example. Let me actually even see if I can bring it up real quick. Let me see if I can bring it up. Let's test it. So, while that decides to try and do its thing, let's hop on Google here. So, this article I'm going to show you is actually by a local media outlet. Alright, The Guardian. I'm wondering if they scrubbed it. Pentagon, employees, child porn. Okay, this is an old article from 12 years ago, but I know I could still find it 2 years ago. So let's see what happens. Yes! Yes! Oh, we found it. Good freaking deal. So, case in point, they snitched themselves out here on that side. They snitched themselves out, right? So, Pentagon workers found to have downloaded child pornography. Look how they got to tell you, this article's more than 12 years old. Yeah, they're trying to cover their asses. It's like, oh, you know, more than 12 years, you might want to disregard this, but no. So, it was, I believe, let me see if they did the amount. I think it was 144, if I'm correct. Let me see here. Dozens of Pentagon staff, spokesman said, the Defense Department takes such matters seriously, but would not comment, which means they're not going to say anything. Though along with the this will be involved security risks. Yeah, you know, I think that's kind of a, you know, where's the 50 pages? I don't know if they edited the article, but I remember it was like 144 employees. Let's see. Okay, so it did not, they probably took that out of there, but it did used to say 144 employees. So let's take a look. But see, this is exactly what I'm saying, you guys. All right, this case in point, exactly what I'm saying. I'm from the Washington, D.C. area. It's not a conspiracy. It's not. You know, a lot of people who are, I would say, detached from being there, haven't been there, and have just seen it on the news. I could maybe try to give you a glimpse of understanding on why you would think it would be a conspiracy, but when you really dive into the symbology in our society and all the occult things, you're really gonna notice that the symbolism is everywhere. These individuals, they do rituals to Baal and Moloch. Okay, those are gods of child sacrifice. In the occult, the blood of children is very strong. Okay, it's very powerful. It can move mountains, things like that. So, you know, I do agree this is part of the show. This is part of the awakening shove we're getting from the higher-ups. At the same time, I can understand the emotional feelings it brings up in people. I'm not disregarding that. I actually know a lot of people who started their awakening from the Wayfair cabinet incident. So, and you know what? Who am I to judge how somebody awakens? I can't. Every awakening's precious. That's a message I got from a realm in the great fucking beyond. That every awakening's precious. Doesn't matter if it's a conspiracy. Doesn't matter if it's an incident like that. Doesn't matter if somebody was like, I think there's more to this than I realized. All awakenings are precious.